In a world of vast oceans and boundless adventures, there are tales of creatures that lurk beneath the waves, beasts of legend that have haunted sailors' dreams for centuries. The sea beast takes us on a thrilling journey where courage, friendship, and the unknown collide. Follow the daring hunter Jacob Holland and a brave young girl, Maisie, as they embark on an epic voyage beyond the edge of the map. What secrets lie beneath the sea? Get ready for an adventure that will capture your heart and unleash your imagination. Our movie begins with a group of children listening to a tale about the sea. In the past, children were terrified by these stories, as they would have nightmares and misfortunes at bedtime. It has been written in ancient books about monsters in the Dark Ages, a period when sea monsters would emerge to destroy the shores. But that era has ended and passed, and the brave hunters remain alone, sacrificing their lives to eliminate these dangerous beasts. According to the book, the greatest of these remaining hunters is Captain Chrome. The orphanage director barged in, shouting at the children to close their books and go to sleep. But there was always one girl who broke the rules. She paid one of her colleagues to take her place in bed, then sneaked to the window to bid farewell to her friends before escaping from the shelter. On the other side, Captain Chrome's ship was being prepared to attack a sea monster. Jacob, Captain Chrome's first mate, was also a professional fisherman. One of the sailors asked about the location of the monster, and he was told it was directly in front of them. And when Jacob looked, he realized that he was the monster they were looking for. He descended to the captain, who confirmed to him that it was the Red Storm Beast, the same beast that had struck him in the eye 30 years ago, and it was finally time for revenge. A report reached the captain about a neighboring ship under attack. The captain decided to go rescue them and leave the monster for later. And when they arrived, the other ship was under attack by a giant octopus that almost took it over, but they managed to rescue the crew and force the beast to retreat. Then, they continued their journey to face the remaining sea monsters. Jacob went down to the fishermen to encourage them to prepare to face the massive green beast and told them that they might encounter it with their ship. Captain Chrome ordered all the cannons to be aimed at the beast and fired. But the monster was unaffected, so they shot arrows at him that pierced his body. And when they approached him with the ship, he quickly dove into the water. Jacob tried to catch up with him and hit him again, but nothing happened. The captain said that this monster is very smart and managed to escape. Then Jacob asked the hunters to stay ready in their places. The monster reappeared from beneath the ship, and a great battle began between them. The monster was extremely strong and had multiple arms, but Jacob managed to drive a spear into its head, forcing the monster to move away from the ship. And while he was diving into the water, the monster extended an arm and struck Jacob, knocking him into the sea. The captain quickly steered the ship to rescue him, but the monster was about to swallow him. At the last moment, Jacob jumped and clung to the monster's arm, then attacked it with his dagger. But the monster hit him hard and threw him away. Captain Chrome attacked the beast and managed to defeat it. Then he dove underwater with it to cut off its fang as a trophy. One of the monster's legs pulled him down. The crew succeeded in getting the captain out of the water, but they informed him that the ship was severely damaged and wouldn't withstand another battle. They asked him to come back to fix it, then return later to face the red monster. Everyone was surprised when the captain told them that they would not continue the journey and that each one of them would return home. But the crew was eager to continue, assuring him that they would repair the ship and return to fishing once again. One of the crew girls came to Jacob to tell him that the captain wanted him, and when Jacob entered the captain's office, he told him that they had to kill the red beast, and that it was unfortunate they couldn't eliminate it today. The captain told him that the red monster was the thing he hated most in his life, but saving the sunken ship was the right decision. He also told him about the necessity of returning to the city to collect the reward that would be used to repair the ship, and then they would return again to hunt down the red beast and eliminate it. But he wondered about the fate of the ship in case of his death, especially after it had fought many battles with him and had been heavily damaged. Then, the captain took out a book recounting the achievements of his grandfather and father, in addition to his own accomplishments, and told Jacob that the red beast would be his last achievement before retiring. He also revealed to him that he would start a new era with Jacob as the captain of the ship, and told him that he had made this decision since he found him at sea, which reveals that Captain Chrome is the one who raised Jacob since he was young. Upon their arrival in the city, people gathered around the ship to greet the crew of heroes. Amidst the crowd, the girl who had previously escaped from the orphanage slipped in and learned that Captain Chrome would fix his ship and then return to hunt the red beast. While everyone was celebrating, the girl approached Jacob and introduced herself as Maisie. I told him that she comes from a large family of monster hunters, and that a monster killed her entire family during one of their hunting trips. So Jacob asked her how she managed to survive, and she told him that she lived in an orphanage but escaped, and she plans to join their ship's crew. Jacob tried to convince her that this is not suitable for children, but she replied that Jacob himself joined the ship when he was her age. She gave him a book full of legends about him, but he insisted again that she couldn't accompany them. She told him that she would talk to Captain Chrome because he is the one who holds the real authority. And when he noticed her insistence, he forcibly took her and returned her in the cart to the orphanage. Captain Chrome and Jacob went to the king's palace and presented him with the beast's tusk they had cut off as a gift. But the queen refused the gift, saying she wanted the red storm beast's fang. And she told him that the general had informed her that he had abandoned the fight against the red beast to save another ship. And she began to scold him harshly, pointing out that she was paying him to face the most dangerous monsters. Then the king took them to show them a giant warship and told them that he would no longer need their services, as this ship would sail with the army to kill the monsters. Captain Chrome's anger flared, and he said that this ship was unfit for fishing, that its captain was unqualified, and that he would be the cause of its sinking. And he started shouting at them, accusing them of cowardice and inability to carry out the mission. The queen ordered him to be imprisoned, but Jacob quickly intervened and told them to test who would be the first to catch the beast. And if they succeed in catching the beast first, they will get the ship, and Captain Chrome will be imprisoned, which means the end of the hunter's era. But if they manage to kill the beast, they will prove that they were right, and thus, in either case, they will be winners. The queen was convinced by Jacob's words and agreed to his offer. At night, Captain Chrome returned to the ship to tell his crew that they would use all their skills to hunt this beast, affirming that it was impossible for this to be the end of the hunter's era. The next day, he gathered all the crew members and announced that Jacob had become the new captain. While they were opening the barrels, Jacob discovered the little girl hiding in one of them, and when Captain Chrome saw her, the girl began to tell him about her family and asked to stay with them on the ship. The captain agreed to her presence and sent her with his assistant, who gave her a bed and a weapon, which means she will start hunting with them. Jacob told the captain that he would kill the beast, but he fears that the girl might be the cause of his death. The captain replied, saying that he sees in the girl the same enthusiasm he saw in Jacob when he was young. But while they were talking, the ship was suddenly attacked. The crew prepared and equipped the weapons and ammunition, then noticed the birds that usually precede the appearance of the red beast. The monster appeared and collided with the ship from below, causing some ammunition to fall into the water. The little girl appeared to help them, but Jacob quickly took her back to her room, warning her not to go out. The red monster appeared again, heading towards the ship. Everyone started firing at him, but the beast was unaffected and sank back into the water. Then the captain ordered them to shoot the arrows tied with ropes at it, and indeed they shot the arrows to restrain the beast and tie the ship to it. But the monster sped off and dove into the water, dragging the entire ship behind it. Captain Chrome readied the great spear to try to kill the beast, but the beast created a massive whirlpool in the water that nearly destroyed the ship. The little girl stepped out of her room and fell, seeing the monster for the first time with her own eyes. Jacob told the captain that the ship wouldn't hold, and that they needed to cut the ropes tied to the beast, but the captain vehemently refused, saying he wouldn't escape. When the girl realized that the ship was about to sink, she decided to cut the rope herself. But when the captain saw her, he shouted at her, threatening that he would kill her if she cut the ropes because that would make her a coward. Jacob ordered her to stop, but when he saw that the ship was going to collapse, he allowed her to cut the rope. With the recoil of the ropes, both Jacob and the girl fell into the water, finding themselves face to face with the red monster. But the monster did nothing to them. It just left them and went away. Immediately after that, they boarded a rescue boat, and when the captain saw that, he ordered the girl to be killed, threatening her with a gun. While they were arguing, the monster appeared again and took the ship carrying Jacob and the girl, diving with it into the depths of the sea. When Jacob and the girl woke up, they found themselves inside the belly of the beast. They tied themselves together with a rope so they wouldn't get separated and began wandering inside the monster's body until they managed to exit through its nose. When they emerged, they saw the seabed in front of them, then noticed that the monster had brought them to the surface of the water and was heading towards an island. Jacob decided to kill the monster, but the girl warned him that he wouldn't be able to do it. And when Jacob tried to stab the beast with the knife, the beast suddenly sneezed and threw them away. Jacob fell alone, while the girl clung tightly to the rope to stay connected to it. And when he pulled the rope, the girl also came out of the monster's body, but the monster chased her and caught her by her legs with its teeth. Jacob tried to attack the monster to save her, but she quickly untied the rope and threw him away. And when Jacob tried to attack again, the monster sprayed him with water to push him away without killing him, then left them and departed. While they were on the island, they heard the sound of another monster, so they quickly hid. Jacob went to get food for the girl, and he found her sitting and holding a book. She told him that the book mentions that monsters come out to the shores to destroy them, so she asked him, "Do monsters really do that?" He replied to her, saying, "Of course, that's what everyone says, even though I haven't seen it with my own eyes." But she asked him, "What if all of this is just lies? What if the sea is actually the home of monsters, and we are the ones attacking them?" Jacob tried to remind her of her family, who had died, and told her that they were heroes. But she replied, Maybe they were heroes, but they made a mistake when they attacked the monsters. She revealed to him that the red beast was a female, not a male, and that it had been trying to protect them from Captain Chrome, who wanted to kill it. Jacob got angry at her words and went out to look for food. Captain Chrome was sitting on the ship feeling sad. His assistant came to him and told him that they had to leave. The captain ordered to head towards a nearby island. The next morning, the girl woke up to find a small blue creature stealing the food Jacob had brought, and when it saw her, it immediately ran away. The girl chases the small blue creature, trying to catch it. She manages to catch him and was about to take him with her, but she notices that she is in the middle of a large group of eggs and accidentally breaks one. The blue creature rushes towards her, trying to pull her away from the scattered eggs, objecting to her holding it. It snatches the egg from her and throws it away, then carries her out of the place quickly. But in the meantime, Jacob accidentally steps on another egg, causing a large number of them to break. Small yellow creatures emerge from the eggs and start chasing them, thinking that Jacob and the girl are their parents, until the real mother of the creatures appears. It was massive in size but slow in movement, which gave them the opportunity to escape by boat into the sea. And while they were trying to escape, another monster emerged from the water. Jacob tried to attack it to protect them, but suddenly the red monster reappeared and engaged with the new monster to save them. The other monster begins to grab the red monster by its tusk, so the girl jumps from the boat and grabs the other monster's eye to make it release the red monster. Jacob also helps by striking the beast with a spear, making the battle easier for the red beast, which finally manages to defeat the other beast and drive it away. Before the girl drowns, she is saved by the blue creature she found on the island. They then return to the boat, but discover that the boat has been wrecked and is about to sink. Jacob had no choice but to continue on the dilapidated boat, but the girl suggested that the red monster might be able to help them. The girl starts trying to talk to the red monster, and the little blue creature helps translate what she is saying to it. The red monster responds to her request and carries them on its head to lead them into the sea. The girl starts giving him directional instructions by standing at his eye, while at the same time removing the arrows that the hunters shot into his back. Captain Chrome arrives at the island he was trying to reach, where he meets an old woman who gives him new weapons and repairs his ship. It also grants him a dangerous invention called the Arrow of Fate, a weapon that can affect any monster. We return to Jacob and the girl, who are still on the back of the red beast. The girl gives Jacob a book and tells him that the book is about monsters that destroyed a coastal city. But Jacob is surprised, telling her that he has passed by that coast several times and hasn't seen any destruction there. Jacob starts flipping through the pages of the book, only to discover that there is a lot of incorrect and fake information in it. The next day, the red beast arrives on the island and lets Jacob and the girl down to the ground. Jacob stands before the beast and tries to convince it that he will not fight monsters again, so he breaks his spear as a sign of that, but he cannot break it. It seems that the red monster understands what he means. The monster feels danger when it notices the army ship approaching the island, so it heads towards it immediately. While they try to catch up with him, the little girl gets caught up in the battle, and when the red monster reaches the ship, it manages to split it in half. When the ship was about to attack its captain, Jacob struck it. When he looks, he sees that the little girl has fallen to the ground, so he smiles and goes to check on her condition. Captain Chrome arrives with his ship, and when he sees the red monster, he heads towards it to fight before it arrives. Mizzy, after waking up, tells Jacob that they shouldn't let the red beast be killed. Captain Chrome gives the order to launch the Arrow of Fate to kill the red beast. The arrow is released and hits the beast, causing it to fall into the water. Captain Chrome stands before the beast and tells it not to resist because the poison in the arrow will start to affect it now. Then he explains to him that he doesn't want to die now because he intends to mummify him and display him in the city. Jacob arrives and sits with Captain Chrome, trying to convince him that the red monster does not pose a threat, but the captain remains steadfast in his opinion. Even Mizzy is trying to convince the first mate that what they are doing is wrong and that the red beast has saved them several times. They arrive at the king's palace, where Captain Chrome tells Jacob that he has completed his mission and that the ship now belongs to him. The blue creature appears following them and goes to Mizzy. When the ship arrives among the people, Captain Chrome presents himself as the strongest hunter of his time because he has slain the red beast. But Jacob prevents him from showing his strength. Mizzy begins to cut the rope that binds the beast. The monster wakes up immediately, but fails to stand due to the poison in its body. The king and queen stand before him, ordering the cannons to be prepared to strike him. But the monster loses consciousness before they can hit it. The monster tries to regain consciousness. It sees Captain Chrome approaching it. And when the red monster attacks the captain to kill him, Mizzy finds herself in front of it and starts talking to the monster, telling it that this won't change anything. Jacob also goes to her, and this time he manages to break the spear that was in her hand. Mizzy carries Jacob and takes them to the king and queen. Mizzy starts talking to people and explains to them that everything in the book distributed by the king was a lie. She tells them that the monsters are very kind and that the stories they heard about them were just myths. At first, people believe her words, even the general who did not agree with the king's orders. With this change in convictions, the situation between the hunters and the monsters became different. The red monster was allowed to return to the sea peacefully. In the end, people know the truth and they realize that it was the king who was trying to sow hatred and fear of the monsters in their hearts. This is the end. See you soon. Bye.